Hey everybody, welcome back to Sam's Savings. Today we're going to go over the dividends in my Roth IRA. If you look at the chart over here, we have the position, the dollar amount per share, the dividend dollar amount per share, the yield percentage per the stock price, the quantity I have, and the estimated annual income from each position I hold. So the first one's VOO. It's the one I've been investing in the longest, and it's around 60% of my portfolio. It accounts for 51% of my dividends at $346 a year. The next is Apple, which only gives me about $32 a year. That's a newer purchase. After that's KO, which is Coca-Cola. It accounts for about $137 a year, which is about 20% of my dividends. There's FREL, which is a Fidelity Real Estate Investment Trust. It accounts for about $111 a year. That one's set up a bit weird because it is a REIT. VIG and VUG. One's a dividend growth fund. I forget what the other one is. But they account together for about $50 a year. They're really new positions as well. But in total, a year, I get about $677 in dividends for my Roth IRA. The max contribution for a Roth IRA currently is $7,000 a year. But the dividends don't count as Roth contributions. So even though I invest $7,000 a year into my Roth, I'm actually investing through the dividend reinvestment plan. I'm investing $7,677 a year, which is really nice in a Roth where you're capped at how much you can invest into it. If you want to choose a stock for dividends, you can. You'll just have to look at a few things. There's the yield, which I have up here. If you look at VOO, the yield's 1.32%. Now, VOO is kind of a high stock. It's like a few $100. But if we look at Coke's a better example here, because it's 3%. So usually the higher the yield is, the less capital gains you have on it because they are distributing so much of it. So if you're only worried about dividends, you can go off of yield. Granted, you don't want the yield to be so high that it's negatively impacting the company, because a company can give out so much in dividends that it impacts like how much the company is able to grow every year. So you just want to hold out on that. A high dividend yield would be like 5%, which I think AT&T was at for a while. 3%'s pretty good, and then obviously like index funds have lower ones, so like VOO is 1.32, VIG and VUG, 1.76 and 0.5%. Single stocks tend to have higher ones, but then again you have Apple, which is at 0.53%. That's because Apple puts a lot back into the company. But yeah, so if you're just looking for dividends, a higher year yield is better technically, but you want to make sure the company is still able to grow freely even after dividends. And dividends are really important in capped accounts like the Roth IRA. They're less important for investment accounts or trading accounts where you can just put in how much you want. But the Roth is really good for them, so I tend to lean heavy in dividends for the Roth because it allows me to invest more yearly. Just make sure when you have this set up that you do have the Roth set up for a DRIP, which is the dividend reinvestment plan, because if you don't, then it will just go into your cash account and you'll have to pay taxes on it, which isn't fun. But that is it for today. Making $600 a year off of dividends in my Roth. If you guys have any questions about the Roth or dividends or anything down that sort, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.